Hello, my name is Raymond Karczewski, and this is coming to you from my home here in Cave Junction, Oregon. The subject for tonight is the Christ state of consciousness is man's true spiritual estate. There is much misdirection and deception afoot on internet news groups and forums concerning my comments that I am a living Christ, a simple man of truth, and that all men are potential Christs, but they suffer from amnesia of their true spiritual estate. They have lost touch with the holistic spirit of truth, which resonates within them due to a lifetime of satanic intellectual conditioning. If one is spiritually inclined to open their heart and mind to the eternal truth which manifests in every moment of now, the scales of satanic conditioning would fall from their eyes, and they would no longer be blind to the living truth, which would set them free from their psychological bondage. The path to such spiritual awakening is simplicity itself. It is the complexity-oriented intellect that stands as a bar to the simple understanding of truth. It is that level of consciousness which cannot survive without opposition, conflict, argument, and competition. Satan, the opposer, is the petty god of intellect. It is that satanic-controlled intellect which rules civilized society through the laws of mammon, a multitude of rules, legislations, regulations, customs, laws, etc., and is the source of all confusion and conflict existing in the civilized world since man's spiritual fall from grace. I have written extensively on this issue of divine awareness, the direct perception of truth, and satanic intellection, admittedly a necessary requirement in order for us to communicate with one another and for the resolution of technical problems. However, such intellection stands as a bar to the understanding of the non-technical issues of life, that realm of holistic resonance which lies beyond the limited purview of the dualistic, opposing intellect, that non-dualistic resonance which is God, life itself. Jesus of Nazareth said that he was the truth, life, and the way. Millions have heard the words, but they haven't got a clue of what was really communicated, all of which is due to the flaw of language and thought-based concepts, which divide rather than bring people together in harmony. Our societies are based on such flawed satanic intellection, and through lifelong conditioning, most of us accept such devolution of consciousness as being the norm, this being the fall of man into the place of being obedient sheeple who are trained not to question authority, but to produce wealth and give it to their masters via their individual labor. Such is the satanic seduction which transforms any previously existing holistic being into a partial, conception-grasping intellectual slave via the limited belief system which has been foisted upon him by his equally blind leaders. I know that I am beating a dead horse here, but the point must be made as blunt and as unavoidable as possible. I am attacked almost daily over the internet for just about every word that I utter. The evidence of this can be found on my website links, Google Archives, and news groups and forum offerings. The message I bring to you cannot be rebutted, so the only alternative is for mind-controlling disinformation agents whom are fully ensconced in internet activity is to attack, smear, and vilify the messenger. One finds that over the last 15 years of my writing on the internet, 99% of responses to my articles are of the satanic, soul-destroying nature. It is futile to argue, for such satanic debate goes nowhere. So let me make this as irrefutable as possible. On my website, arkenterprises.com, those of you who are serious spiritual seekers can find their current spirit level of a fallen people in their relationship to a Christ. Keep in mind, most of them are Christians, conditioned toward belief in magical thinking myths concerning Jesus of Nazareth, which has been inculcated into them almost from birth. These souls are what I refer to as blind believers. They will give up their lives, martyr themselves, offer themselves up as cannon fodder for the next corporate war of the month offered them by their satanic leadership. In other words, they're just plain dumb, and proud of it. So what's all this got to do with me, and the proof that what I say is true? First of all, note that there has been a 15-year campaign to censor and block my writings on the internet, and I am still here, as strong as I was on the first day on the internet. The satanic authorities, from the FBI to the state and local authorities, have repeatedly been contacted and criminal complaints lodged, yet they refuse to this day to investigate the crimes committed by Josephine County Sheriff's deputies, district attorneys, and court judges, in addition to the government media sponsored, supported, treasonous mind control operation being conducted against the American people by its intelligence community. The state of Oregon and county of Josephine attempted to put me away for 35 years as a paper terrorist for holding my public officials accountable for their crimes, all of which started out as a traffic stop because of my high beam headlights were unknowingly on. Aside from spending 128 days, 121 of those days in the hole, in solitary confinement, awaiting trial after some 22 hearings and 2 trials where the government's jurisdiction was challenged, but refused by every judge in Josephine County, and one brought in from adjacent Jackson County because they ran out of judges. The kangaroo court convicted the dead juristic person, their own non-living creation, whose name is spelled in all capital letters, through birth certification, in both trials, but they could not establish a link to me, the living, breathing, flesh and blood, sentient, natural man of the sovereign people, the creator of government. So when it came time for sentencing, I rejected their offer of incarceration on the basis they had not proven jurisdiction over me, this living, breathing, flesh and blood man. They were also facing the fact that I was near death due to 2 combined hunger strikes of 55 days that I had engaged in at the county jail, which would have left them with a lot of explaining should I have died in their custody. My release was directly tied to the medical conclusion made by the Josephine County jail nurse. 9 years have passed. The state of Oregon and county of Josephine have not gotten a single cent from me through their bogus court findings, via fines, court costs, attorney fees, etc. I have continued to do the very same things which resulted in the original arrest, and they will not arrest me and bring me before a judge. I have challenged Sheriff Gil Gilbertson's oath of office, which he breached along with multiple commercial defaults, and the Josephine County Risk Manager, Rosemary DeLashmutt, refuses to process the claim, while she and other county officials engage in a cover-up. The state and county claim the juristic person is a convicted felon, yet they will not arrest me, the living man, as a felon possessing a firearm, when I wore my .357 Magnum revolver openly during a television interview on sovereignty by reporter, anchorperson Katie Connor of KTVL television in Medford, Oregon. So there, briefly, you have the indisputable facts concerning one Christ's stand against the satanic courts of Oregon. My question of you is this: just what the hell does it take for you people to wake up and stand up as only Christ's can?